Record. So, hey, what's up? So, after so many failures and trials and whatever, we are back to actually recording this, of course, as we uploaded to YouTube. That's the only reason you are seeing this. So, here's where we are. So, beautiful quotes. I don't want to float. So, this guy says that he doesn't want to float. Then it's floating. Good. So what we can do now is, so this is the fix that we have. Of course, a way to fix this is we can simply say H3 is, let's say, clear both. Then this fixes it for us. Good solution, but this is 2020. There's a more effective way to do this. And here's what we're going to do. We'll say quote wrapper. We'll set the display of quote wrapper to flex. Remove these guys, of course. We set the display of quote wrapper to flex. You see, we have this guy now. So, but what I was even trying to explain earlier, of course, you were not. That's for the people that have been in the session. So, you can see that when you set the display to flex, when you set a parent element to flex, it now begins to want to automatically, what you call it, put things together horizontally. So we have this first guy, we have the second guy, then this other guy has followed. If I add another element, so that one too will join. Of course, there's a lot of ways, or there are ways to ensure that, the layout looks exactly the way you want, but this is not supposed to be like an intensive class on CSS. This is just like an exposure to the way things work, and you can learn more about it then, apply things in your own application. So display flex, then let me remove this guy. Let me remove, I don't want to float. Then I'll come over here and say display. So the display of this guy is flex. Let me come over here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired though. Very, very tired. So then I'll say justify contents. Justify content is space between. So what space between allows you to do, or allows us to do, is, I don't know if you can still see my screen. Can you still see my screen? Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can still see the screen.
Okay, cool. So what space between allows us to do is put space in between the two elements. That's like the most basic way I can explain. So for visual representation, or so that we can see things more visually, I've added a background to the text wrapper and the quote wrapper, so that we can see things much more visually. So you can see that this image wrapper seems to be holding the majority of the area, because that's what has like this light green color. So what can we do from here? What we can do from here is, see, first and foremost is okay. So let's do this. Let's look at the original design, and so we have this guy that's at the center, which is navigation. So I can come here and say, so inside of our image wrapper, and say let me say nav, and I'll just say navigation button, then refresh. Oh, I'm refreshing the wrong thing now. Navigation button. Okay, navigation button is exactly beside at the start of this. But what I want for navigation button is, I want navigation button to be at the center of this image, just like we have here. Like it's at the center, maybe not center, but like kind of below center. So of course, the easiest way that comes to mind, of course, is to do what text align, Abby. So let's do text align center. right? Then save it up and this guy refreshes and we have the navigation button. Cool. But this is actually not doing what I want. I'm coming. Let me see something here. So image wrapper, image, yeah, good. Perfect. Nice. This is not actually giving me what I want. This is not giving me what I want. So now, okay, let's continue, Sha. Let's do this guy. So we have these two guys, this Afrobeat singer, this pop singer, physicist, all of those things. So we can come over here and say, so I'll create a div for this guy, which will contain the image. I beg, if there's anything that I'm doing that does not make sense, let me know. There'll be a div for this guy, and I'll say, then I'll create another div here. Just I'll call it. So I'll call this guy class. Okay, I'm coming. So I'll call this guy class equals Okay, sorry. Let me clear this up. I don't need this div. 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 So I'll just say class. So I'll just say class equals say image info. I'll call this guy image info, which will contain like the profile of the user. So I'll just call this guy for now. I'll call it Afrobeat singer. Then come over here. Good. Is doing what I want. Then I will actually remove the text align. I'll remove the text align center. I will apply it more at the element level, not just here. So we have that now. Good. Yeah. So what I want to do, the additional thing I want to do is, okay, I think that's all I want to do for now. I think that's what I want to do for now. Yeah. So what we can do now is this image info, we can simply say image info. So this is image. We can say dot image info. Say the width is 90%. Because if you observe here, if you observe in the design, it's not touching the edge of this. And apparently visually from here, this is touching the edge of this. So I'll just set the width to 90%. And let's see what happens. Width is 90%. It's not showing. Image info, div class, image info. Okay, width is 90%. Okay. The reason it's not showing effect is because it is aligned to the left. So if I do margin auto, it should centralize it now. Margin auto. Good. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to do here. If you have any questions, please ask. So the next thing I will do now is I'll say the font size should be 10 pixels. Then the color should be white. The color should be white. 10 pixels. Okay. We can adjust the font size later to maybe 12 pixels or so. Then the next thing is this guy needs to be inside of this place. And to do that is actually very simple. You can simply do margin top. Margin top is, let's say, minus 30 pixels. Let's start with that. And let me change the font size to 12 pixels. Good. So this works. But our navigation button has followed also. So for our navigation button to correct things, we can simply say, come to the HTML and say class equals quote. So in fact, okay. So I'll say quote nav, just so that things are a bit more visually sense making. So dot quote nav, dot quote nav. So the minus 30 pixels that are removed, I'll just say here that margin top is 30 pixels. Just so to correct for that anomaly. And we're back to what we had before. Now, the next thing I want to do really is to check the original design. So in the original design, this navigation is actually quite close to, this navigation is actually quite close to the base of the image. So if we check this, what we have at the moment is not that far. Okay, so but we cannot really say that yet because we don't actually have the original navigation button. So please give me a minute. Let me pause this recording. Okay, so navigation button, that's the next thing. So here's what I'm going to do. So inside the navigation button, so here's what I can do actually. I'm coming. So I'll say navigation quote, Abby. So I will call this guy. So I'll come here, quote nav, margin top is that guy, and I'll give it a height and a width. Yeah, I'll give you a height of, let's say, 50 pixels and a width of, let's say, 250 pixels. Yeah, let's refresh and see what happens, what that gives us. Okay, then I'll give it the pink background, which I believe should be this. So copy, I would say background is this, and paste. So let's see, good, perfect. So margin top is 30 pixels. So it needs to move closer. So we can set this guy to 20 pixels. Let's see what that gives us. It seems it's closer than that, really. It's closer than that. So let's do 17 or 18 pixels. So if this was a Figma design, I would actually go inside Figma and measure that space. And that's what I would put in there. Because all these designers can be funny at times. So for the height, so the height apparently is not as big as I'd actually anticipated here. So the height I can do, I think I can do 35 pixels, 35 pixels. Then for the width, I can do, let's say 150 pixels. Let's see. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, the width should be 100 pixels. Let's bring that down to 100 pixels. Good. So the next thing to add is border radius, obviously. Border radius. I'll give this 35 pixels so that it gives us that rounded edge. Good. Awesome. So at this stage, I think we can actually begin to do away with these our backgrounds, right? But before I do that, I'll simply say margin auto, and let's see what that gives us. Good. Now, let me quickly point out something here. You'll notice that I actually intentionally put the margin auto before the margin top. That's because CSS reads commands from top to bottom. What that means is that if I had put, so let me do this, margin top, the margin auto. Can you see what's happening here? So what that means is this is, so let me go back to what we had before. If you are saying margin top 18 pixels, by the time it comes here, it overrides this particular command and just sticks to this. Do you get what I'm saying? But if I say margin auto, the margin auto that I simply want it to affect like the left margin and the right margin for the auto. And I want to set a default margin top. Of course, I could have gone ahead and say margin top, auto, margin left, the margin left, auto, but this is 3 commands really, when I can simply say margin auto. And of course, I'm aware of the fact that you can actually use margin auto. Then you can use margin auto. You can also use this shorthand. What's happening? I can use 18 pixels, then margin auto. It will give us exactly the same results. Yeah. But the only thing is this shorthand, this adds a margin of 18 pixels to the top and to the bottom. In some cases, you may not actually need that margin at the bottom. That is why I tend to use that other approach that I've used. But I think this is much more effective. Another approach you can use is you can say margin top, margin here, the first value will be top for 18 pixels, then the next value will be right for of auto, then we have 0 pixels for the bottom, and this should give exactly the same result. You can see the only difference now is that there is no longer a margin at the bottom because we set the margin bottom to 0 pixels. So you can use whatsoever approach that you want, but for now, I think we should just stick to this. This looks cleaner. Awesome. So a few things you might have missed is so I think the width of this guy, of the image, should increase to like maybe 420 pixels, and we've not added a border there. Say border radius of 10 pixels or 15 pixels. Good. So for the quote wrapper, I will just say margin. Okay, so it's not actually margin. I'm not doing margin top anything. What we want to do now is, okay. Quote wrapper. This should be image wrapper. I was wondering. This should be image wrapper, not quote wrapper. Good. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. So this is nice. So, sorry, I'm talking to myself. If you have any questions, please ask now, because it seems like I've said a lot of things and I seem to be talking myself. So if there's any questions so far, can you let me know so that before I go ahead and do other things? No questions?
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah.
I fall for
questions from us.
I fall for you guys. So I'll just remove these background colors right now because really I don't need them again. What I wanted to achieve visually, I think I've been able to achieve it. So I'll just remove those colors. Then I'll remove the overall. Okay, so I won't remove the overall background color itself. So this guy now is centralized here. Yeah, it's centralized here. Like it's horizontally centralized. I want it to also be vertically centralized. How do I go about that? Flexbox is like the best thing since sliced bread. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll select this main class, this main element. I'll simply say main display flex. And I'll say justify contents. So, okay, before we go to main, let me comment out this guy. Margin auto, then I'll delete this margin auto so that it takes it back to where we are coming from. So we are back here, Abby, as far as let's say around, like the Yoruba people will say. So if I now say display flex and I say justify content center, see what happens. It takes us back to where we are coming from. Now we are back here. In order to make it appear horizontally center or vertically center rather, we can now do align items and just do center. And let's see the magic that happens. Don't disgrace me now. Do normal. Okay. So the reason it will not do that is because we don't have a width set for this guy. And height set for it. So I can do height is 100 VH. That is the viewport height. Can you see what we have now? Very nice, sweet, and interesting. So also, this thing is also not being affected. So I will also say that the width is 100%. Just so that we'll give ourselves sense. So let me see. That should work. Okay. So width is 100%. So I'll change this from minimum width to from maximum width to minimum width. Okay, yeah. Good. So do you understand all the debugging I tried to do there now? Do you understand what was going on?
Can you go over it again, please?
Okay, cool. No, that's fine. So now observe that there's a space between Fela and Anikulapo and the image, right? Do you get that?
Yeah.
Good. So if I come back here and I say the image is being jammed up here, right? Because this is now a flex element. And for flex everything is flexible. I don't know, that's like I think that's like the most explanatory way I can kind of explain it. So everything is flexible. What that means is that everything is now fluid, which means that this guy now is now trying to be as fluid as possible. I remember that what we had said here is that we said that the maximum width should be what? Should be 90 pixels. So essentially what that means is that no matter how big the size of this canvas can be, the width of this guy cannot be more than 900 pixels. Now, if we come here, let me inspect this guy now. Let me inspect this guy. You see that the current width, the current overall width will be less than, where is it now? Main. Now text wrapper will show up now. Is main I want. Okay, no, quote wrapper. If you check quote wrapper now, you can see that the width is 959.61, which is not up to what do you call it? Which is not up to 959.61, right? But really, in reality, we want the width of this guy to be how much? To be 900 pixels. That at most it should be 900 pixels. So, or when the user visits this website, we shall want some space to be in between these two guys. That's like really even the original reason why we are trying to set a width for it. So since maximum, so at max, we are saying that the width should be 900 pixels, which seems not to be working. So we are now saying that, okay, like at the minimum, no matter what the case scenario is, the width should be what? Should be 900 pixels. And that's why we have this space. And in fact, something just dropped in my head now as to how we can go about this. We can still set our max width to this guy, but I think if we use flex grow to be 1 and flex shrink, I'm coming. One of these should work. Flex shrink should be 1 also. Let's see what happens. If there are no changes, okay, good. So let me try and explain what just happened now. So these are simply flexbox properties. And basically, by setting that the flex grow and flex shrink to 1 is this, what that means is that this box can get bigger than what it is presently. And of course, we've set the boundary that the maximum width should be what? Should be 900 pixels, which means that even if it's growing, it cannot grow more than 900 pixels. And we also set a flex shrink to 1. What that means is that the size of this box can also reduce. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So look at this now, for example. So as we are dragging this guy, you can see that the width of the box is increasing. Now, by the time we get bigger, you see the width never goes beyond 900 pixels. I hope this makes sense. Oh, guy. Does it make sense? If it does not make sense, let me know. Because I know these things can be a bit technical.
Okay.
If it still does not make sense, let me know. Or are you banging on the fact that you will go over the video again?
Yeah.
Okay, so
we'll go over the video because maybe I'm lost. I don't even.
So okay, I think the fact that I'm the one writing the code and everything is another factor why things might actually look really strange. So so next week we'll try another style. And the style we'll try next week is I won't be the one writing the code. So somebody will actually like just the same way like I set up the whole procedure. Somebody will actually try to set up the whole procedure by themselves. Then I will just be there to advise. So it's like it's the person that is taking charge of the session, but I will just be giving contributions and every other team member will also give contributions. I don't know if that's fine by us, but I think it's definitely worth giving a shot. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do next week. So so go over the code. Of course, the code will also be available in GitHub, so you can always check things out. So yeah, but flex is actually a lifesaver. Like if you know flex box, just be flexing. You're a big boy, honestly speaking. So I want to image info. Okay, the font size I've changed to 12 pixels. I think so. Let me remove this background now. One last thing I want to do is to bring in. So putting Gerald is to actually bring in these arrow icons and this love icon in. So I'm actually have to use Figma so that I'll be able to edit the icons. And I get all my icons, all icons that I use for projects. I get it from the thenomproject.com. So I want to check out the thenomproject.com. It's a really dope platform. Very nice platform. Oh my God. So I would say arts. I would say arts. So this will just allow us to be able to quickly edit the icons. So of course, paying attention to details is actually of like importance to me. Like I don't know, maybe that's why I'm very slow when it comes to executing because everything has to be prim and proper. So like I can actually spend a day just ensuring that the dimensions and everything are correct. Uh, Sorry, one last thing. If you observe, there seems to be some more space to the right than to the left of this image. Is it just me, or does everybody else see it that way? Like Sam alone.
So can you?
Like it appears like there's more space from this guy. It seems there's more space from here to here than from here to here.
I don't think so. I'm not saying that way.
Okay, you're not seeing it that way, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I feel it's equal, right?
It's equal, Abby. Okay, awesome. That makes sense.
Well, I guess so too.
So just in case, Sha, so what we can do is we can actually do object position. It's 12 object position, then I'll do center. That way we can show that things are actually centralized. Okay, so I think, yeah, there is no difference really. So let's select this guy. Then I'll click on get this icon. Okay, luckily I'm logged in. Then continue. Then click on SVG. So I use SVGs because it makes things really easy for me to edit. So I'll create a new folder here and call it icons. Okay, so somebody's playing music after all the bells I have begged. Sorry, please give me a minute. Okay. Awesome. So, okay, yeah, so we are in here now. So what I can do now is simply come here, drag, then just drop inside of Figma. So then of course I can easily zoom in. So I'll just come in here. Of course, the assets will be available. So what I can do now is I think I can bring in the original image now. I actually didn't want to do this before, but right now it seems I can. We have no choice. So I'll just click on this guy, then come over here, fill, then Figma badge. Okay, yeah, good. So in fact, because that color pink we are using, I was looking at it. That color pink is not what it's supposed to be. So let me save this up and let's check. The pink should look like pink now. This looks better now. So okay, yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry. Of course, like every other thing related to what you call it, we can just export this particular icon, then use CSS to add like this circle and all of that to it. But I guess I'll just add circle here inside of Figma just to save some time. I won't have to be writing like another CSS code to do that. So then color white. I think this is one of the advantages of knowing how to actually design. So if a designer decides to do like the Olonwa, you can just get things rolling yourself. So yeah. Okay. Think this looks good. So so I'll group this guy, then exports and say SVF exports SVG export and say art. So and I'll come back here, icons, and I'll delete this other one because we don't need it again. So because I don't want you to have resources you don't need. So what I'll do now is I will come over here to where do we have image info, Abby? So we'll say I'll simply say image source equals icons slash art.svg. Now let's see what that gives us. The art will be big. That's one thing I know for sure. Good. It's big. So of course we can always adjust things. So we can simply, so image info, what I will do now is I will wrap these two guys in spans because they are supposed to be like side by side. And this text itself it's an inline element and this guy is an inline element. So I will not be able to like move things flexibly the way I want. So I'll just come over here and do span and then paste this guy, then save it up. Of course, there will be no changes yet. So if I now come to image info, okay. Now, fantastic. You can see that the styling of this image is actually coming from this guy's styling. That's why we are having what we are having here. So because what we did was we just said anything that is image have this particular styling. So what I would do now is I would wrap. So I'll simply that image. I'll say okay, image wrapper, not Shini. Okay, so here's what I will do, Sha. I'll just say image info img. I'll just say width is let's say 30 pixels, height is also 30 pixels. Good. But now it is left aligned. No, it is both are left aligned, and this guy, this icon is also aligned to like the base of this icon. This icon is supposed to be at the center. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll simply say, I'll say image info. I'll say display equals flex. Like I told you, flex is the best things in sliced bread. So I'll just say dot image info span. No, not even span. So yeah, I need to do that. Dot image info dot image info span. So what I'll do is I'll just set the display of these two guys to inline block or whatsoever. Then I would say justify content, center, align items, center. No, justify content should be, so, but you can see what's already happening here. You can see that this guy now is now vertically aligned to this particular icon. So what I would do now is I would say justify content should be space between. Save this guy up and see what we have. You can see this is what we have now. This icon, I think the icon is a bit too big, or is it that the icon is, okay, the icon is not even big. I think the icon is of the right size or even smaller. It's even smaller. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll change the width and the height to 40 pixels. 40 pixels. Just add 10 pixels to what we have at the moment. And let's see. Good. So the next thing apparently now is, maybe not so apparent, is we'll just add more margin, margin top, more negative value. So I'll make this guy now minus 50 pixels instead of minus 30 pixels. Good. We have that. But this guy looks too big. You know, I'll bring it back to 35 pixels. So everything can be big. I'm not the video now. Biggie, heavy. So 35 pixels. Good. I think this looks better. Yeah, good. I think we are getting somewhere really. This is looking interesting. Yeah. I think that's where we are going to stop for today. This is where we stop today. Yeah. So this is where we'll stop today, but I will actually give you guys a task to complete before next week. Then we'll look at it together. And the task is actually simple. The task would be to add these icons, these navigation icons, and this, what do you call it? And what do you call it? Oh? And this section, each song's quotes, sure you get. That'll be your task. So you can download, you know how to get the repo now. So let me push the updates to, GitHub now. So I'll simply, so by the time we are meeting next week, I will look through each person's solution for this. Everybody will present their laptop live, you represent your screen, then I will see your solution for this. And we'll now add animations to it by next class. So we'll add the animation, but of course we'll not make it dynamic such that users can move from one kernel to the other. So here's what I'm going to do now. So I'll simply say git add, git commit, I'll say fit, and say basic setup. So git push. Awesome. So it's going live now. So I believe we are getting somewhere. I'm liking. I'm really liking the output of this. The crazy thing is, I've only except the fact that I looked at the fact that we're going to do this design. I've actually not thought about how are we going to implement or execute this thing. Just vibes and inshallah. So if there is any question, please ask them now. So
So sir, can you like do a little video on your channel about how to use Figma, yeah.
Figma. Okay. No problem. I'll try and do that. In fact, I have a video that I was supposed to release tomorrow, self, on how to use Figma variants and all of that. But I think we'll consider actually doing Figma videos. But the thing is, Figma is more of a design tool than a web development tool. And really, if I want to explain like the use of Figma and all these things, like it has to be on a real design. So it will be like maybe an hour video or maybe like a series of videos and all those things. So really, I cannot promise this year because we have like a lot of content in the pipeline that we are trying to develop and all of those things. But maybe early next year or maybe before the year runs out, we'll see what we can do about that.
Okay, so so if you want to get this work from GitHub,
Yeah.
people has run the command git pull, right? Like when we're in the repo.
So no, you won't pull. What you will do is you come and fork this repo. So what you do is, so don't even fork the repo. Don't fork it. Clone it. So what you just do is,
Okay.
come over here. So you can actually fork the repo. You can actually fork the repo. If you fork the repo, what it does is it creates a copy of the repo for you in your, what do you call it, in your own GitHub account. So just click on fork here, and it's going to create a copy of the repo in your own account. Then you can now clone the repo to your computer. Shake it. Then do whatever you want to do. When you are done, just share the link with me. I'll also pull it on my laptop and send things in and test things out. So it would be nice if I can have links to the works before next class. Sure, you get, so that it's not by next class that we're not trying to, do this one, do that one. So if you can send it in, the earlier, the better. And of course, if you have any issues beforehand, you can always reach out to me. I may respond late, but I'm sure that I'll definitely respond.
Right. Thanks a lot, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're very much welcome. Any question?
Yes, sure.
Any question of the day?
We are not going to eat you.
You say what?
I said we are not going to eat you.
Okay.
No questions now, but I don't know. Let's try you make two questions.
All right. That's fantastic. Yeah. All right. So I guess I will see everybody next week. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're very much welcome. Yeah. So let me stop recording now.